Revenge films.
My wife messed up. Big time. The other day her dad took out a loan for his business, and she made me a joint guarantor without telling me. She even forged my signature. I found out about all of this when I got an invoice from a company I've never heard of. I asked my wife about it then.
Don't you remember? I asked you if you could be my dad's joint guarantor the other day. You said yes.
What? I did no such thing. I knew her dad owned a business. He got it from his mother. The company was doing well at first, but in recent years, sales were beginning to go down. His mother, my wife's grandmother, was pretty good at running a business, but her dad, not so much. I didn't know much about running a business, but even I could tell he was doing something wrong. And now he wanted to borrow more money? With me as the joint guarantor? Hell no! It's not hard to imagine what's gonna happen. So I said no when she asked me. I made myself pretty clear. But they did it anyways! In the mail I got, there was a copy of the original contracts. It was clearly not my handwriting. I went to see her dad right away. He's got some balls, I'll give him that. Making me his joint guarantor without telling me? But when I told him that I was ready to bring the cops into all this, he snapped back at me. You're gonna snitch on your father-in-law? You should have just said yes in the first place! For me, it was like being asked to invest money into a sinking ship. But for some reason, I was the bad guy to him. Then my wife.
Yeah, we're family. We're supposed to help each other out. It's your fault.
Why the hell would I help him? The business is going under. And I'm not kidding. I'm going to the police. Then she started crying. Her father said, "Stop treating me like a criminal! You're useless, but I let you marry my daughter anyways." No. The moment you forged my signature, you guys committed a crime. Plain and simple. But my wife didn't admit it, and her father didn't seem to realize the severity of the situation either. Talking to them was really exhausting. I decided to call it a day. I'm gonna go see a lawyer tomorrow. But I've never hired a lawyer before. I had no idea where to start. I thought about calling my parents, but if I get them involved in this, that'll just make things more complicated. I decided to talk to some friends about it. One of them introduced me to a lawyer. According to him, it wasn't going to be easy proving that the signature was forged. They said not to involve the cops in this. But the lawyer said there was no other choice. Then I found out something even more shocking. My wife and I lived in an apartment, but we were saving up for our own place. But my wife used that money too to help out her dad. I couldn't trust her anymore, and now I was completely broke. I was panicking. I decided to go talk to her. She was hiding at her parents' house. Her dad yelled at me, "It's the least you can do! Stop whining! Once the business gets back on track, I'll be able to make that back in no time!" And my wife said,
If I told you, you would have said no.
"Well, of course! We've been saving for our own place for so long now. I can't believe it's all gone now." I was furious. I just wanted to break stuff, but I didn't want to give them anything that would help them in court. So I held in my anger. Until all of this, we were just a normal couple. Nothing out of the ordinary. But now, I was starting to think about divorce. The thing is, her dad's business is going south sooner or later. I tried explaining to her that when that happens, I'm gonna end up with all the debt. But
It's okay. Dad said so.
there was just no talking to her. How can he be so confident? He's the reason the company's been losing business for years. We need a miracle or two to get the company back on track. Meanwhile, the lawyer found out something interesting. I thought my wife forged my signature, but according to the test results, it wasn't her handwriting. The only person left was my father-in-law. But turns out, he threatened one of his employees and made him forge my signature. He was the spending type and borrowed money from his company from time to time. He used this to blackmail him, telling him if he didn't go to the bank and do as he said, he'd tell his wife about all of it. So, he obeyed, went to the bank, and filled out the application on my behalf. When he heard about my lawsuit, he got scared and came forward. He told my lawyer everything. He begged him, saying, Please don't tell my wife about the debt! Needless to say, the lawyer didn't listen. He may have been under pressure, but he still forged my signature and took out a loan under my name. He's gonna pay for what he did. Now I had enough proof, according to the lawyer. And the thing is, I wasn't the only one now. They now had to worry about the bank suing them too. A few days later, I went to see my wife and her father with my lawyer. He finally gave up and said he'd sell the company to pay me back. He begged me to withdraw my lawsuit. That was fine by me. As long as I got my money back, I didn't really care. And his company was going under anyways. I'm surprised that it lasted this long in the first place. But what surprised me even more was the fact that my wife pretended like nothing happened. Seriously? You think we can just start over? After what you did to me? She seemed surprised when I told her that. She really thought it wasn't that big of a deal, she said.
What? No! Are you leaving me?
I could no longer trust her. And I can't be with someone who I can't trust. When I told her that, she started crying. But I didn't really feel anything. I mean, did she really expect me to just forget about all of this? When I tried to explain to her what would happen if her dad failed to pay off the debt, all she said was,
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
I don't think she quite understands how things work in the real world. I should have realized this earlier. A few days later, I handed her the divorce papers.
Why? Why do we have to get a divorce?
She started flipping out again. I guess she really doesn't understand what she did. I was too tired to deal with her, so I hired that lawyer again to deal with all of this. We told her parents that if she didn't agree to the divorce, we were ready to go to trial again. Finally, she agreed and signed the papers. She fought me until the very last minute, but I'm glad I went through with it. Who knows what kind of trouble I would have ended up in if I gave up and stayed with her. After the divorce, I moved out. I wanted to get away from her as soon as possible. Thanks to the lawyer, I was no longer in debt and I got all my money back. So I had more than enough money. I heard she's living with her parents now. Apparently she now blames her parents for the divorce. She says if it wasn't for them, she'd still be married to me. A mutual friend told me that she was still trying to contact me. But I had no idea because I blocked her on everything. I'm just glad I had good friends and a good lawyer to help me through all of this. If it wasn't for them, who knows what could have happened. The company was in terrible shape. If I hadn't noticed in time, I would have ended up in so much debt. I never want to see my ex-wife or her family again. Time to move on with my own life.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.